Okay, well, I want this wasn't a meet and greet. I want them to have Susan.
This is me. I feel a lot. I am loud. I am passionate. I'm emotional.
Online, there's a lot of unfair stereotypes about extroverted thinking types that unfortunately can lead to a lot of mistyping. In today's video, I want to break some stereotypes you might have about extroverted thinking, how it works, and what it actually looks like in real life. The first thing I think people really misunderstand about extroverted thinking is they think that extroverted thinking means getting lots of things done, constantly knocking off tasks and working on things all the time. The thing to remember though is productivity, that's not a personality preference, that's a behavior. Extroverted thinking at its core, it's not actually about just getting things done. It's more about trying to problem solve in a way that makes things work better outside. Extroverted thinking really likes energy and resource managing. Thinking about, okay, what's our goal? Now, reverse engineering things. Who do we need to solve this problem? How many steps is this going to take? How much time and energy is this going to cost in order to make things happen and progress forward with this goal? Now, on one hand, sure, this can sometimes look like extroverted thinkers really getting lots of things done. But on the flip side, what everyone always forgets is this problem-solving approach, it can also be super useful for not doing things. So for instance, you could have a situation where it's like, okay, my friend's coming, I need to pick them up from the airport, but I also need to go to the grocery store, pick out some food, cook the food, and then clean my apartment before they come. How am I gonna organize this? Okay, well, actually, that sounds like a lot of energy and stress. Why don't I just pick them up from the airport and take them to this restaurant near the airport that everyone always likes? This works for everyone just the same. In this example, do you see how extroverted thinking, it's actually sort of being lazy. It's finding some shortcuts to streamline things and save time and energy. Imagine now the same person, after hanging out with their friend, the next day they have a whole bunch of work to catch up on. They've got a presentation to prepare for, and so that takes up most of the energy of that day. The next day, they've got an event to help out with, and their parents are visiting, so those things become the priorities. In this example, do you see how in the shuffle of all these outside commitments, responsibilities, and have-to-dos, how certain things on the to-do list, like cleaning the apartment or organizing emails, might keep getting pushed down to the bottom? It's a normal human being thing to sometimes be tired and not always get everything done. And so it's actually very normal to have extroverted thinkers that sometimes feel like they're behind with things, like they procrastinate sometimes, like they're not always taking action and working on things all the time. But where if you actually go inside their head to listen to how they're problem solving and prioritizing things, they're still totally extroverted thinking all over the place. The next thing people always misunderstand about extroverted thinkers is they're not always just thinking about results and getting things done. They also can really care about people, really enjoy helping people and being there for people, just the same as some of their extroverted feeling counterparts.
We're doing our best to get as many people as possible. I love all of you. I'll try to.
Remember how extroverted thinking, at the end of the day, it's an extroverted judging function, meaning that it's a decision-making function that's very oriented towards outside, engaging with outside, thinking about things outside. And whenever you have a decision-making function that likes thinking about things outside, what is that also going to be connected to? Working on things outside, wanting to help and support, take care of and fix things outside. And so zooming out, caring about people, wanting to help and take care of people, it's actually very much baked into the DNA of what extroverted thinking is. One amazing example of this was Mr. Beast problem solving and trying to manage things when tens of thousands of extra people showed up to his event, causing a lot of chaos.
Who is in charge of flow? Are you in charge of like keeping the flow of the customers? We need one person who's in charge of flow that I go to. I can't because I'm trying to keep things.
You're not gonna be able to take pics with 10,000 people today.
Maybe we move when it comes to 10. I don't know. I need people thinking and helping.
The expectation was not that you were taking pictures with everyone to say this wasn't.
Okay, well, I want
this wasn't a meet and greet.
I want them happy.
This was a we were opening on the street.
I want them happy. I want them.
People were happy.
Even though Jimmy is being direct about things, in his own way, he is totally caring about people, wanting to help. I want them happy, I want them happy, I want them happy. The interesting part is in how he's trying to make that happen. It's looking at things from a more detached perspective so that he can find solutions, streamline things, and make things work better from a systems perspective. Another thing I've never seen people talk about is just how nurturing and supportive extroverted thinking types can be. Again, it's so common to associate being conscientious and sweet, wanting to make people feel better as an exclusively extroverted feeling thing, not recognizing just how much extroverted thinkers can do the same thing. A great example of this was from Love is Blind season 4, where Brett, an ENTJ, sees how his fiance is getting really stressed out and overwhelmed, and he wants to put something together for her to surprise her.
I definitely don't like to see her cry. I definitely don't like to see her being really emotional. I want her to know how much I love her. Keep your eyes closed.
It's closed. It's closed. I promise.
Open. Come in, Lord. Come in, Lord.
And that day, I actually just came back from Portland. I drove three hours up and then drove up 3 hours back in the same day from work. I wanted to take her portrait. She said yes, to make her feel better. And then, you know, I knew that the last thing she would expect would be to be surprised with the pictures from the shoot. And her reaction.
Love you.
With extroverted thinking, the thinking part doesn't mean that they don't care about people. It's more that the ways they might like approaching things and assessing what they should do, that's the part that might be a little bit more detached. So something like, okay, are things working or not working? Okay, if my goal is to help my fiance feel taken care of and supported, what can I do about that? How can I help things work better? Okay, I need to drive 3 hours over here and then pick up this stuff and put this thing together and then drive 3 hours back. You see what I mean? So it's like taking care of someone, but approaching it from this like action plan, pragmatic perspective. By the way, if any of you guys were wanting to learn more about your personality type, wanting to go deeper, but a little confused about what the best resources are, Z and I do have a 3-session teaching program. It's called MBTI Foundations. We go through letters, we go through functions, and it's designed to help anyone really understand and see a lot more clearly what their personality preferences are, what they aren't, what they mean. It's a full interactive learning experience. Z and I have found this program, it really works, not just if you're someone that's trying to find your best fit personality type, but also if you're just a person that's been looking for a place that can teach you MBTI in a more in-depth way, that likes learning from examples and exercises in a fun, structured environment. This is the perfect program for you. Anyways, it's something you can do by yourself or with a friend. Just wanted to let more of you guys know about it. All right, let's jump back into the video. The next thing people always forget about extroverted thinking is these personality types definitely have feelings, and often a lot more feeling about things than you might expect. Don't forget that extroverted thinking, it's always connected to introverted feeling. It's impossible to see one show up without the other. Practically what this means is no matter where introverted feeling is in their function stack, you'd be surprised just how much these personality types do like checking in with how things feel to them. What sits right with them? What resonates with them emotionally, authentically? This idea that extroverted thinkers, they don't have feelings and they don't care about people, it's just really not accurate when you actually start seeing more examples.
This is me. I feel a lot. I am loud. I am passionate. I'm emotional. And I want to stand by you to support you with any decision that you want to do. But I need you to understand me. I love you.
I love you too.
And I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna be myself, and I'm gonna be vulnerable. People prey on that, and they see your vulnerability and twist it in a way that you don't always expect. So it's just like it's like such a hard thing to balance, because it's how do you be honest without...
In my own personal life, I actually think it's really admirable how extroverted thinkers can take care of the harmony outside in their own unique, special way. One example that comes to mind is one of my favorite scenes actually from all of Love is Blind, where Lydia and Milton are having an argument, and Milton accidentally starts saying a whole bunch of sort of insensitive or triggering things.
That's where you're going
Yeah, but if I go talk to her, I'm not gonna cuss her out. I'm not gonna fight with her. I'm not gonna scream with her.
I was like trying to convey that to you.
Thank you.
Because I
for telling
see
me
he's
from the
like,
know.
I'm not, no. I am, I need a minute. I need a minute.
I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings.
And I'm sorry that I've done things that you don't like.
Do you see how Lydia, she is definitely being emotionally impacted by what Milton is saying. She is upset. She is feeling strongly about things. But what does she do? She manages her feelings. She manages her reaction by stepping away, crying, and then coming back in a different headspace. For extroverted thinkers, their ability to look at outside situations and go, okay, what's the goal? Is lashing out, expressing my feelings, making sure the other person feels what I'm feeling. Is that really going to be useful? Is that going to move things forward or solve the problem? How much emotional energy is this going to cost? That's not worth it. I'm gonna set how I actually feel aside and just help move things forward. And in my opinion, even though it doesn't look at all like extroverted feeling harmonizing, if you think about it, that's still harmonizing. That's actually taking care of the connection, thinking about the other person. Zooming out, the main takeaways I hope you get from today's video is realizing just how much extroverted thinkers do care about other people, the special ways they can take care of other people, and how extroverted thinkers totally do have feelings, and often a lot more than you'd expect. These videos take a lot of time. They're not easy to make. If you guys learned something new and wanted to support the channel, check out the membership link down below in the description. On there, there's tons of extra teaching videos, analysis videos, and reactions, including a 35-minute extended version of today's video that breaks down way more in depth how you can use extroverted thinking to improve with your communication, relationships, productivity, lots of different things. See you guys in the next ones. Peace, peace, bye. Introverted feeling just by itself, if it's leaned on too much, it's a very self-focused function, right? How is this making me feel? Left unchecked, it can be actually quite indulgent. And so the ways that extroverted thinking integration can help FP personality types is by sometimes